Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eghe and this is Fictional Haven. So today guys we're going to be discussing my worst books of 2021, the books that frankly I wasted my time with and frankly wish I'd not put as much energy into reading this book as I did. And hopefully next year I hope I will learn the signs so that I can avoid having these next year, but we all know that's impossible. But anyway, first of all, before this video begins, I just want to announce that this is our last video this year. So anyway, we've come so far. It has been a year already, and I believe in either 2 days time or just it's going to be a new year. So because I'm not going to be available for the next 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks in January, I just want to be the first to tell all of you Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is going to be really a better year for you, and that's frankly I hope 2022 is going to be a good year for everyone. And yes, and also last video of the year guys, so I don't know what to say, just that I wanted to acknowledge the moment.
Goes a little something like
my worst books of 2022. Let us begin. So I only have like 10 books here, so hopefully we're not going to waste too much time on it, but let's start now. So the first is Hear No Evil, and basically this is the second book in a series. I don't know what the name of the series is, but the first book is See No Evil. And basically in this book, I'm so sorry I can't remember the characters' names, but basically in this book, the main character in the first book belongs to a crime family, and she witnesses her uncle killing her boyfriend, who also belongs to another crime family. And because she loves her boyfriend so much, she decides to testify against her uncle, and because she betrays her family decides to hunt her down and permanently silence her. And so because of that, the police decide to put her under witness protection and send her into an all-boys school. Dressed as a boy obviously, but send her to an all-boys school to hide. And this is actually a sports romance. I believe they play ice hockey in this book. And so she goes to the school and she's supposed to be keeping a low profile, but until for some reason decides to go into ice hockey. And yes, she meets one of the boys there, and for some reason he just knew, just from looking at her, that there was something different about this new student that's a boy, and blah blah blah. He discovers that, okay, that's spoilers, we're going to spoilers territory, but yeah, you know how it goes. It's a romance book. So basically, yeah, first book I gave 3 stars. It wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was okay, it was all right, it was a good time. For some reason I was intrigued by this book, so I read it. Going to book 2, it was like the magic and the juju that captured me. Book 1 had weared off, and frankly this second book was more slow paced than the first book. There was a lot of dragging. There was not a lot of because this story has a main plot to follow. The second book starts with a new character. One of the side characters from book 1 takes over the second book, and in the second book this main character decides to leave the other people, like the gang, like the group of friends, together and go off on his own and have his own adventure. And his own story was just kind of boring to me, and yes, it was just kind of boring. And what was I going to say? It was kind of boring, and it felt very slow paced because his own drama had nothing, like for the most part his own story had relatively nothing to do with the main plots, and we're just with him and leaving him living his life. And so the general plot of the book wasn't moving. It was just him. If you can hear any sound in the background, that's my brother practicing on his saxophone, so yes, bear with me. Anyway, so what was I saying? So for the most part the book was kind of dragging because his own storyline had nothing to do with general plot, which I was interested in. So his own side story, frankly, it was boring to me. And also at the end of this book, this young man and his leading lady take some decisions that I frankly did not agree with, because I just felt that it was kind of, I don't know, I did not agree with their decision. So that kind of also annoyed me, which is why I gave this book 2 stars, because I was annoyed. I was really annoyed. It's not such a bad story, but this second book was just not it. Maybe the third book would be better, because that's the final book in the series, and I plan on reading the final book next year, just because I want to wrap up this series. I don't hate it enough to not complete it. But so the next book I have is Poked by Helena Hunting, and this book, what was the story about? I believe this book is about, it has the best friend's sister trope in it, and basically this young lady has a step brother. I can't remember their names, but this young lady has a step brother and he plays hockey or something like that, and she has a one night stand with one of her brother's hockey teammates, and from there the young man becomes interested in her. I frankly don't know what the conflict in this book was. It was just, I don't know, it was just a weird book. It was very cliche, it was very predictable. I don't know. My friend actually likes this book and she wanted me to read it, which is why I read it, but it just wasn't for me. It was funny sometimes, and they made a lot of weird childish jokes, which were actually funny, but really, well, frankly speaking, it wasn't really that great a time. So the next I have is Open Water. My god, this book, when this book came out, not even when it came out, people like this book a lot. They are like, oh, so poetic, the best thing. Everybody's always talking about how the book is so beautiful, gorgeous prose, blah blah blah. I don't like this book for one thing at all. I appreciate the message that this book has to pass across, but the book, just from my own perspective, I don't like this book. Why? Because I think my main issue with this book is the writing style. It's written in the second person. Is it second person? Yes, second person perspective, and it was just really weird for me. I feel like I've read a book in second person perspective, and it wasn't so bad. So I don't know if I have a general problem with this writing or if it's just this book, but it was so confusing. A lot of information in this book went over my head. I did not understand what was going on. I would read a line and immediately forget what I just read. I don't know. I feel like me and this book don't just agree. Maybe me and this author, we don't just vibe, and that's okay. But it was a very difficult read. So the next book is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Kiso. I technically gave this book 3 stars, but it's still one of the worst books. I'm even thinking of demoting it to 2 stars now. But honestly, this book is okay. It's actually an okay read. Okay, I think I'll leave it at 3 stars. But okay, so this book is actually an okay read. So basically, it's about this mermaid who's trying to prove herself to her mother, who is the sea witch. Like, that's a mermaid, Siren. She's trying to prove to her mother that she's capable and able, and she's a dangerous creature of the sea. So her mother asks her to kill the prince, who is also a siren hunter and who's killing their people. I don't know why the prince once was killing sirens, but the young man was just killing sirens. I don't know. There was just a lot of killing, like the title in this book suggests. Anyway, this book is actually okay. It's really good, relatively speaking, and everything. Writing style was okay. Everything was okay. My only issue with this book is that I feel like the writer was trying way too hard to make the characters edgy. Like, any small thing, I'm a dangerous creature of the sea. I kill for breakfast, lust, and dinner. I'm so dangerous. I have knives. It was frankly too much for me. At some point it got really annoying, which is why this book got. I'm just like, it just. I don't know, because of this. I don't know if I'll start hating edgy characters because of this book. Well, it was too much. I feel like the writer was trying too hard, because any small thing, oh, I'm a killer, I'm a monster, I kill. I was like, bro, calm down. Honestly, because even with the whole I kill, there was not a lot of killing going on in this book, to be fair, to be frank. Nobody died like that. So all the killing they were shouting, I wasn't really seeing it in effect. So it was just annoying. Basics is Euphoria, and I actually feel bad that this book is on this list, but the truth is that I really did not enjoy my time with this book. I actually gave this book a 3-star rating on Goodreads, but to be very honest, it's actually 2 stars. But I left it at 3 stars because the book only has 9 ratings on Goodreads, and this is a book by a Nigerian indie author. Like, you can see the level of how, like, the book is already the, how am I going to put it? Like, this book, it needs the boost. It needs, like, if this book was like had at least over 500 ratings now, like it was at least mildly popular, I won't feel as bad. But it only had 9 ratings. I didn't want to be the person to put it down, because I feel like my main issue with this book is just like the tropes used, or just certain things in this book are things that I personally don't enjoy reading about. So it's mostly a me thing, and because of that, I really did not want to put this book down. It only has 9 ratings. I don't want to discourage more people. I need this book to be popular. This book is by a Nigerian indie author, so you can already tell that it needs the boost. So I felt really bad, but yeah. So anyway, this book is about a married couple who are having some issues in their marriage, and then they decide to go on a vacation to the Twin Bliss Resort in order to see if they can rekindle old flame and save their marriage. So basically, reason why I know that is because it had 2 things that I prefer to keep my interaction with to a minimum. Number one is cheating. There was a lot of cheating in this book, and I was tired. I was frankly very tired. I did not want to read this, and I honestly wanted to DNF it, but I got this book as an arc, so I was like trying to finish it. I honestly ended up not giving a review on it because my review was going to be really bad, and I just felt bad, so I just decided not to give a review on it. But yeah, there's cheating, and also there's the relationship between the 2 main characters is kind of toxic, like very toxic to me, and those are just things I really don't like, because I get really frustrated, because I'm like, if you people are like this together, they just break up. Why must you force yourself to be together? I was honestly very annoyed, and I did not want to spread my annoyance. Like, if I decide to write a review on this book, it will show how annoyed I was. So I just decided to keep my cool. But I feel like if you don't mind cheating in books, or toxic, or you enjoy watching, like you like reading about toxic relationships, then this book might be your jam. But for me, it wasn't. I don't like these things. I get so angry. So my last book now wasn't so bad. Like, it was not a bad book at all. But I did not really have a good time reading it. Is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. My reading experience with this book was really bad. Like, I did not have a good time reading the book. This book was frankly too long for me. It was just too long. I wanted it to be over after like the first 50 pages. I was like, I'm done. Mentally, I checked out. The only reason why I did not DNF this book was that it was a book club pick, and during the book club discussion, they shared a lot of the other book club members shared a lot of light on this book, which made it make me appreciate the book more. But left to me, I was not happy with it. Anyway, I'm going to leave a link to the book club, my book club. This is from another book club, by the way. This is from the Indulgent Bibliophile Book Club. I'm going to leave a link because they post sometimes the video from the book club meeting. So I'm going to leave a link to that video above. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. So My Dark Vanessa. So basically, this book is about this young lady. What's her name? I've forgotten her name. And oh my god, the name of the character was on title. So this book is about Vanessa, who, when she was in secondary school, she gets into a relationship, an inappropriate relationship with her teacher, and yeah, she's in an inappropriate relationship with her teacher. And then fast forward to like 10 years later, someone comes out to say that this particular teacher that was her boyfriend sexually harassed her when she was in school. And then this person who comes out with this story reaches out to Vanessa and was like telling Vanessa to come out and talk about her own relationship with the teacher. But Vanessa, in her head, is like, oh, maybe he sexually harassed you, but he did not do that to me. It was a consensual relationship. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, so basically this book is just exploring Vanessa and her life and her whole situation. And honestly, if you watch the our book club's discussion on this book, I guess you appreciate this book more. But just me, if you listen to my mouth, you might not want to read this book, because oh my god, I was tired of Vanessa, I was tired of her teacher, I was tired of everybody in this book. I was tired of them. I was frankly tired. I was done. Vanessa, I don't know, I wish her all the best. At least she's in therapy. I don't know, I was sure really frustrated. Not necessarily with the character, just with the book. It was too long and I was not enjoying myself. And next book is You Exist Too Much by Zainab Arafat. So basically we follow the main character who has love addiction. I don't know if that's the correct name, but basically she loves love. I believe that's the summary for what I got. And let's just go straight into my thoughts, because I don't even know how to explain this book. So number one, this young lady has mommy issues, she has daddy issues, she's a serial cheater. I know in the book she's said to have love addiction, which is, I don't know if it's a mental illness or something, but in the book she said that she has love addiction. But honestly, for me, I just feel like she was a serial cheater, because the young lady cannot stay in one place. Always, even when she's in a stable, healthy relationship, she's always sabotaging it. I was tired of her. And then the book, the way it's written, it feels like a mishmash of different stories. Like the way each story, like basically each of her escapades with different lovers, it's written, each of them is written like a short story, and then everything feels like it's mishmashed together. And I don't know, just because of the way it was written, I frankly did not like it that way. It just felt weird. I wish it was more a collection of short stories rather than a full book. It would have made more sense for me, because this, the way the book was written, gave me whiplash. The way we were just going back and forth and front and back, everything was just mixed together, and it was really weird. And then finally, the main character in the book, she is flawed. This young lady, she's a pathological liar. She's what? She's a pathological liar. She has self-esteem issues. She has mommy issues. She has that. Everything is wrong with this young. And I was frankly tired. She's very messy, and I did not really care for her. And then this book is told from first person perspective, so we are in her head 24/7, which I did not care for. You know, there are two types of messy people to me. There's the messy as in, oh, this person is messy, but you love it. You love to see the drama. You love the drama they cause. You love everything about them. You want to know more. You can't wait for the next wahala this girl will cause. And then there's messy as in, oh my god, this person is messy, and you do not care for them, and you wish the person would die and the book will end. This girl was the second type of messy, and I was not here for it. I was very annoyed really because of this book. I wasted my time, my energy, and the truth is, I liked the writing style. Like, I liked the writing, the author's way of writing book. I liked it, but everything else was a miss, and I wasted my time with it. So the sun is going down now, so the quality of the video is probably getting worse as we continue. So I want to try and wrap up this video now. But before we wrap up, I just want to talk on some of the books I DNF this year. So I DNF 4 books this year. Okay, I DNF more than that, but I'm only counting these 4 because these are the books I read, or at least almost 80% of the 50% of the book before finally deciding that they were not for me. The first is A Far Love Story, and this book I just DNF'd it because it wasn't really giving the energy I wanted. I might try again next year, but for now it wasn't giving. It was kind of slow paced and boring. Nothing was happening, at least for, I read up to 40% of the book, and for that part nothing was happening. It was slow paced, nothing was, it was dragging, and I wanted something more fast paced, more, I don't know, and it wasn't giving, so I dropped it. The next is Rent a Boyfriend. Also, this book was also not giving. I was really excited to read this particular book, but I don't know, it was kind of slow paced. Not really slow paced, things were happening, I just did not care. Yes, that was it. I could not really connect to the characters. I did not care what was happening. And yeah, that's just it. I really did not care what was happening, so I just decided to drop it. The next is All the Stars and Teeth. So my problem with this book was, I don't know, I believe I read this close to after finishing what's the name, To Kill a Kingdom. And you know, my problem with To Kill a Kingdom was that I found it like the author was trying too hard to make book edgy, and I had the same problem with this particular book. I just feel like the author was also trying too hard to make him edgy, dangerous. I was tired. I was honestly tired of this. Like, it just felt, I don't know, I was just annoyed. I started seeing signs that it was going, like what the author did in To Kill a Kingdom was going to happen in this book, and I was not in the mood for that, so I decided to drop this one too. Final book is Viper. This is also had the same issue with this. I don't know. It just felt like they were going in the same direction as To Kill a Kingdom, and I feel like after reading To Kill a Kingdom, I frankly did not want to experience the same thing again, which is why I also DNF this one. But these 4 books that I mentioned are books that I might still try again next year with them, if I just feel like I might be able to, especially for I feel like these 4 books are books that it's just I read them at the wrong timing, and so next year I might try again with them and see if it's will happen. And then if it doesn't happen, if I still get the same feeling I get this year, then maybe it's really truly and really not for me. But for now, they are DNFs till next year. We shall see again next year, or we'll try again next year. But anyway, these are all the books these are my worst books of 2021. So we've come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching with me so far, and I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year!